This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Harley Race.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
This is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
Wrestling fans, welcome to another installment. Wrestling Insiders, I'm Dan Maratti, joined by the one.
John Cena Sr.
The only, thank God. A lot to talk about in the world of professional wrestling. Johnny trying to catch up on some of the news after our last in-depth discussion, which the fans enjoyed a great deal. Big news right now, everybody's talking about it. Everybody in the business wants to be a part of it, literally, is the new WWE 2K15 game, which drops for PlayStation 4 and Xbox 360. October 28th, and then for the fans that have upgraded to the PS4 and the Xbox One, they can get that on November the 18th.
I got to tell you something. The promo shots of that game are unbelievable. Dare I say, they're fabulous. They are unlike anything else I've seen, and believe me, I have a lot of those games at the house. I'm going to I'll have to buy one of these, I suppose, pick up the W215 and take a look at it on my son's PlayStation upstairs. But the reality of the characters, the creation of the individuals, the reality of the matches is unbelievable. This has got to be, it's like watching TV. You might as well be at Raw or a SmackDown. That's how good the graphics are on this game. I can't wait to get a copy, bring it upstairs and put it on my son's PlayStation 4 if he'll let me, and take a good look at this game, because what I've seen so far, if the fans don't grab this game, and it's sold out all over the place, it's worth every nickel.
Unbelievable. Like I was telling you just before we started, it took me quite a wait to get the PlayStation 4 for the little guy. Devon will be kicking my ass on the game soon, but I can't wait to see what it looks like on the new, what do they call them? Not upgraded systems, but help a brother out. What's the cool kid term for the new video game systems? Generation Next? Well, whatever it is, if you have the Xbox One or the PlayStation 4, it's supposed to be an even more enhanced experience.
Upgraded system.
So I want to see what it's like.
Should be fantastic. It should be fabulous, as a matter of fact, because if the video shots and the photo releases that I've seen, and some of them are not published yet, you cannot let this game slip through your fingers.
Well, on the other news, fans, Sean O'Haire, former WWE superstar, recently passed away. Johnny, it's always sad to hear about someone so young passing away, especially via suicide. Someone that had great promise in WCW at one point.
I think we talked about this in the last show. Sean O'Haire was a personal friend. I have some photos of myself and Sean O'Haire when I went down to OVW to visit my son. And Sean O'Haire was just a great human being. I was down there and was privileged to see the match with the prototype and Sean against Ric Flair and his son. That was at Five Flags down there in Kentucky.
Six Flags, you mean?
Six Flags, yeah. I like Five Flags better because it's one less than what I need, but six is good. Six Flags, it was an outstanding match. Sean was an outstanding human being, just a great all-around individual. I guess, as life has it, we all have our problems. We all have our situations, and all I can say is thank you, Sean, for the respect that you showed me. Thank you for the fun that we had, and may you truly rest in peace.
Well, again, very sorry to hear that to all the friends out there in the wrestling community, especially his family. I think there could have been a greater destination for O'Haire in WWE, but unfortunately he came in as part of the WCW Invasion storyline, which left a lot to be desired. I don't think if he came in with that label, I think he could have certainly risen the ranks in that company. He had great size, great charisma.
Great talent, understood the business very well. He was just he was another Batista. If you looked at him and you tagged him up with Dave Batista, they would have been awesome.
And you want to talk about a coincidence to think about. WCW Power Plant ran off Batista right around the time O'Hare started training. Now imagine if Batista stayed at the WCW Power Plant and it was Sean O'Hare who went into WWE OVW for training. Could have been two changes drastically in two different careers.
Well, O'Hare was not at OVW.
Well, once he was with WWE.
Yeah.
I'm talking about for basically his initial training.
Yep. He was down there. He was down there with John. He was down there with Randy Orton. He was down there with Victoria, Lisa Marie Varon, Dave Batista. They were all down there at the time I was down there when I went to Six Flags and watched that show. Unbelievable human being. Talented.
Well, we also have some more bad news. It's a rainy day. Bobby the Brain Heenan, a dear friend, appeared at the first MWF Soul Survivor, has done many interviews with us. Fallen, injured again, had to cancel some personal appearances coming up. Thoughts on Bobby the Brain? He's had a tough go of it.
It's been a rough battle, but there again, there is a man who I think holds what is said so many times on Raw: never quit, never give up. This man has to be the manager of managers. He is the man, as far as I'm concerned, along with several other individuals in the managing industry, Captain Louis Albano, Bobby the Brain Heenan. I mean, the Grand Wizard. He fits right up there at the top. I read that. I was very disappointed and very hurt. I had the opportunity to meet Bobby the Brain last year at the New England Hall of Fame. He was signing autographs. I believe you were there at the New England.
I missed this one.
You missed last year. Last year I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Not this year. Last year.
Yeah.
He was in a wheelchair, and I can only tell you this: it brought tears to my eyes. It brought tears to the eyes of many of the professional wrestlers who were there to see this man who was so full of life and vitality reduced to where he was. But I will tell you this: he laughed and he smiled, never gave up, never quit. And my prayers are with the Heenan family, and my prayers are with Bobby the Brain Heenan, a man who will go down in history and be a legend in the department of professional wrestlers, because he could not only manage, but he wrestled.
Fantastic bumps.
All the way around.
Fantastic bumps.
All the way around. You will never forget Bobby the Brain Heenan. Andre the Giant, he managed him. You know, he was outstanding in what he did, and he had the ability to grab that microphone, that stick as we call it in the business, and right off the top, those promos, the managing ability was just outstanding. Unbelievable.
The greatest manager in professional wrestling history, in your opinion? Because he is mine.
I would put a few others in there with him. I think Lou Albano fits that mold.
You saw more of those types of guys in their prime, so I respect that.
The Grand Wizard would fit right in there. If you're talking about after my era, I would say without a doubt, Bobby the Brain Heenan is the man.
Well, Bobby, certainly we wish the best to you in your recovery. Like I said, he's had a tough go of it, but he stays strong. Every week counts him out, and then you find out he's popping up somewhere else a month or two later.
He has a desire, and that desire needs to be recognized by the young people in this country today, by the elderly people today, those that are wrought with sickness. Take a look at this man. He never gave up. He never quitted. No matter how bad it got, he stayed with it. Young people need to stay and believe in themselves. They need to continue to go and achieve, not cry, mea culpa, poor me, poor me. The same thing with those who are sick and give up. Don't give up. Fight. Fight till there's nowhere to go and no more fighting to be fought for. Heenan's an example of that. And you need to take that example and run with it. It's a whole change. But Bobby Heenan, one of the best. It was an honor to meet you, an honor to have the opportunity to be on the same show with you, as far as I'm concerned, with the New England Hall of Fame. I hope before things are finished, we have the opportunity to cross paths again.
All right, wrestling fans, we'll take a brief time out. When we come back, we'll have more as we wrap up the news.
You already know Kowloon Restaurant, established in 1950 and spanning 4 generations, serves a multi-Asian menu. Did you also know that Kowloon Restaurant is New England's premier Asian dining and entertainment complex, serving Cantonese, Szechuan, Thai, and Polynesian cuisine? And did you know that Kowloon Restaurant is also the home of the finest Japanese sushi? If you haven't dined at Kowloon Restaurant lately, then you simply haven't dined at Kowloon. Kowloon Restaurant, Route 1 North in Saugus.
Devil's got nothing on me.
Wrestling fans, welcome back. Wrestling Insiders, I'm Dan Moratti along with Mr. Cena. Johnny, go a little Hollywood right now. One of WWE's big releases. I know you're a horror movie fan, as am I, which is one of the rare things we have in common. But what about Leprechaun, I believe it's called Origins?
Well, let me tell you, Daniel, me boy, I haven't had the opportunity to see that show yet. Somebody was going to bring me the DVD so I could look at it. However, I haven't seen it yet. But I understand that Hogswallow has done a tremendous job. It's not like the original one, and that's the thing.
Very different.
That's the thing that people need to understand. There's a different spin on this one. I understand it was done very, very well. Whenever I get a chance, maybe Netflix will have it. I'm sure they do. A matter of fact, you know what? When I'm done here at the studio, I'm going to get right on my computer, go right to Netflix, get Leprechaun, and I'm going to have it sent to me, and I'm going to watch it. And next show, you and I will be able to talk about, or you'll be able to give a little bit of the blarney about what you saw.
We'll give it a full review for Halloween.
Sounds great to me.
And also coming out relatively soon is the sequel, See No Evil Do, with Kane. I really like the first one.
I didn't see the first one. I have not seen See No Evil, so I imagine it's a takeoff on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
No, not really. Well, see, I saw it in Las Vegas, so my memories might be a little hazy. It was on, matter of fact, I remember it was 666. We flew out for the Cauliflower Alley Club reunion. I remember being at the airport saying, oh, the end of the world is coming, and the segment's on CNN trying to play it up. I'm like, geez, I'm getting into a plane and headed off there. But anyway, around midnight I saw See No Evil 666, and they had a great finish to it, which I think you'll appreciate.
Only God the Father knows the end, and I'm sure it's not any of these people who are waysayers that know when it's coming, but maybe I'll pick up See No Evil and take a look at that. I understand it's about gouging eyeballs out with a meat hook and all this good stuff. If anybody can do it, Glenn Jacobs, Kane, outstanding human being, and I mean that.
Yes,
I don't get paid to say any of this stuff. I just meet these individuals and have the opportunity to talk with them. Outstanding human being, some great ideas, believe me, on politics and other things.
Yeah, very much so. He's heavily involved.
Very, very talented human being, and it's an honor again to have been associated with Kane, Glenn Jacobs, and I tell you, a long career ahead of him. I'll get to see No Evil too.
Unbelievable. Johnny, speaking of movies, what about Batista? He had that monster success. I believe right now it stands as Marvel's third highest grossing film ever. What's the future of Batista in wrestling? We know he's coming back. He wants to be at WrestleMania 31. He's made it known that he wants to compete with Triple H. I don't know if that's in WWE's plans as of yet. But I know you were a big fan of the Guardian movie.
I saw it several times. Not once, several times at IMAX 3D over in Reading.
Wow.
Might as well give him a plug, Jordan's Furniture, IMAX. That movie, Dave Batista has finally, and not that he hasn't before, but really in terms of movies, come into his own. The character is amazing. Batista's acting is outstanding. This movie, when it comes out on DVD, and I believe its releases in November.
No, it should be out for Christmas.
Yep, I can't wait to buy my own copy of this, my own 3D version. I have, just to let you know, I have two 3D TVs, one in my bedroom, 55-inch, and one downstairs in the bar at 65. And when I'm too tired to sit downstairs, thank God I can bring it upstairs and put it in and watch 3D up in the room.
You have your own bar.
It's just a little room. It's just
You've never invited me over.
Well, you know, it's another story for another time. But that movie is unbelievable. I'll tell you what, Dave, Dwayne Johnson's got nothing on you. Wow. This is outstanding acting. It's just, I saw your other movie, The Iron Man with the Iron Fists. that was okay. This is outstanding. Marvel is already in production for the second Guardians of the Galaxy. Dave's going to be there. I think WrestleMania 31 will be Dave Bautista's swan song. I think he's done with the world of professional wrestling. He's 40 some odd years old. So I think it's a good way to bow out. Whether he battles Triple H or not, I don't think makes a heck of a lot of difference. I think whoever battles Triple H at WrestleMania 31 is somebody who's going to be on their way up, because it's, as you say, it's time now for the changing of the guard, if you want to use that word, as the internet wrestling community uses. So I think that whoever faces Triple H, Daniel Bryan did that, whether it's Seth Rollins, whether it's Roman Reigns, who I think maybe needs another year or two to really get ready to ascend the throne, even Rollins. Maybe it'll be Triple H versus Dean Ambrose. I'd pay to see that match. You know, but whatever it is, Dave Bautista, I think, is going to be finished with professional wrestling. I think he's solidified his career as an actor. I know now that there are other movies that he has been cast for and ready to sign for. Yes. So guess what? The Rock may be the highest paid actor in Hollywood right now, the richest man out there right now maybe in Hollywood, but Rocky, there's somebody coming right behind you fast and furious, and his name is Dave Bautista.
Well, John, you want to talk about people that could have their swan song at WrestleMania? Brock Lesnar, his contract expires the day after WrestleMania. Your thoughts on that? It's a very interesting subject considering where he is right now and where he could be come early April.
Well, first of all, let me put it to you in my own humble terms. I'm not an advocate of somebody not being there holding the belt. I just, it's not fair to the wrestling community. I know you'll disagree with me at that point. I don't care who holds that championship belt. And I will say this. I don't think the champion needs to be on television every single week.
Nobody.
I think that the wrestling community is right in their analogy, in their analysis there, where less is more. Hulk Hogan never was on TV every single week. The problem you have, and I got to go back to our original statement, was there's such a shortage now and so many of the stars being injured that you've got to throw somebody in the loop to make it work. But I like Brock. I've met Brock. He truly is a street fighter. I would not want to piss off Brock Lesnar, because I'll tell you what, I would probably be a Papa Gino's or a Domino's Pizza. He'd flatten me with one punch. He is an amazing person. I had so much fun chatting with him, intelligent man to speak with. He truly is an MMA individual. I think if you ever let loose in that ring, there'd be bodies all over the place. But I think that after WrestleMania 31, Brock Lesnar will be no more.
You think that'll be it?
It could be before that. I think that it could be before WrestleMania 31.
No.
Yeah.
Thomas, calm down a little bit.
Well, no.
He's not going anywhere. They're paying him great money, and he's...
Yeah, but that's maybe, you know, I sit back and say, what is your purpose? To get him in to destroy people on a bi-monthly, bi-weekly, whatever it is, basis. You can still have him lose his belt and still be part of WrestleMania 31.
Sure.
I still say
it's
that...
It's a waste, though. I mean, why? How do you beat the guy that so far this year killed Big Show, ended Undertaker's streak, killed John Cena?
Well, I can't say John Cena's been killed. I can't say John Cena's been killed. The match was decimated.
And that's served its purpose.
But remember the match with The Undertaker, and if you talk to The Undertaker, he will tell you in his own words, he didn't remember much about the match because he truly did have a very serious concussion and was unable to perform. The question in my mind still remains, was the streak truly going to be ended at WrestleMania 30?
Yes.
To quote the words of Paul Bearer, Percy Pringle, your mentor, your personal friend, your angel in heaven, Percy and I and a few other stars, and I talked to Ron Simmons and Bobby Lashley, and they all felt the same way. The biggest mistake that WWE could have made was to end that streak. You have totally killed and destroyed the Undertaker. That streak never should have been ended.
I was mad the night they did it because
I was there.
My thought process was, why are you going to kill something? What WrestleMania right now is pretty much the one show of the year they can draw a casual fan that doesn't watch it every week. Order pay-per-views every month. And one thing they want to see is Undertaker in the streak, and you just took that away from them. But at the same time, they wanted to make Lesnar the guy. Was feeding Undertaker the right thing to try and get Lesnar hot for John Cena at SummerSlam? I guess we're going to have to see how the title reign goes to really...
Lesnar could have been hot for John Cena at SummerSlam without destroying the streak. Lesnar truly is, and I mean this, he's a beast. You got to meet him in person.
Oh, believe me.
He's a beast. He's a beast, and you don't want to mess with him. So they could have done the same thing with Brock Lesnar without him taking away what needed to be left alone, and that was the dead man's streak. That was so imperative that it remain in place. It was a historical fact, if you want to use that word.
Mainstream publicity, they got.
Amen, amen, amen. He could have gone in there at WrestleMania and destroyed The Rock. He could have destroyed Steve Austin. He could have destroyed anybody, and it would have still meant the same. But I think they made a tremendous mistake by letting Lesnar do that. It proves nothing, in my opinion. We all know professional wrestling is scripted, that the ends are scripted. So it's the maintaining of the storyline. Whether he beat Taker or not, they're setting him up at WrestleMania 31. And I hate this word, to quote unquote pass the torch to the next person. You know what? I've seen a lot of next persons grab the torch and go like a bad firecracker. So whether it's going to be passed to whomever in your mind you believe it is, the internet wrestling community believes that it's Roman Reigns. Some believe it was Daniel Bryan. If you have Daniel Bryan beat Brock Lesnar, now we know wrestling ain't wrestling. Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, any one of those individuals. Dean Ambrose beating a Brock Lesnar. Even a Seth Rollins, even a Roman Reigns, who I don't think is ready yet. Another year or two, yeah, Roman Reigns might be the person. But they complain about the 5 moves of doom. What does Roman Reigns have? The super punch and the spear. Hey,
does his little kick?
Why are we going to... Well, someday we'll have a conversation about this, but...
Could be a good topic for one of the next shows.
We're going right back to where they don't want to see what they have to see. So, Brock Lesnar issue, Undertaker issue, big mistake on WWE's part. I still maintain, and I had written, people laugh at me because I try to do things that are off the hook. If anybody should have taken away from him, I could have just seen it be Bray Wyatt. Undertaker seeks in, up comes the fog and the mist. Wyatt goes and grabs this urn that's floating in the air. Laughs.
The urn would be floating in the air at this point.
I have the whole world in my hands. The people's lights start going off in that building, and at the very end, as the smoke begins to rise even further, we hear, rest in peace. We haven't finished it. WrestleMania 31. The streak, whatever you want to call it, is there. And maybe we didn't officially end the streak. Maybe it was some kind of disqualification.
Oh, you know how I feel about those.
Yeah, I know, but you know what? It's all about business, and it's all about keeping the storyline going. And I just think that, again, Brock Lesnar, tremendous individual, a hell of an athlete. I think they went in the wrong direction. Just my opinion.
You were in the building.
I was.
New Orleans Mercedes-Benz Superdome. What was the reaction, in your opinion, to when The Undertaker lost to Brock Lesnar?
That's the reaction. You could hear a pin drop. I saw women cry. I saw men use that no effing way. This is BS. You could have, the reactions to that crowd were like, if Vince and The Undertaker were looking to throw the curve and blow the crowd away, I'll tell you what, that took away from the rest of the night. It really destroyed the night. if anything, it should have been the last match if that's what their intention was. But they always want to send people home happy. Just like I say, you asked me. That's exactly what it was.
Wow. Well, too bad I missed it. I really wished I could have been there for the Hall of Fame, at the very least, but such is life. Maybe this March we'll be out in San Jose for WrestleMania 31.
I'm going to be there.
You've already made a commitment.
Thank
you will be in San Jose.
I hope that I'm healthy enough and strong enough. I'm going to try to make WrestleMania in San Jose, California, and I'm even going to go out on a limb with you right now and say, if I feel good enough and strong enough, which I do, thank you, God, thank you, Lord, I might even go to the Cauliflower.
Oh, wait just a minute now. You're going to be there for the 50th if you feel well enough.
I'm ready to go.
The big 5-0, brother.
I feel good. I've lost all this weight.
You'll walk the strip.
It's now 70 pounds almost. I'm really doing well on this. I'm hoping, and I know I feel great all these wrestling shows, thank God. I'm up and ready. I'll be at WrestleMania 31, and Cauliflower Hour is when?
April.
I think that's when WrestleMania is.
It's late March next year.
Then I'll be there. I'm going to do both.
Unbelievable. I know well, you know what? I shouldn't say that because you never know how my back or my feet are going to blow up on me. But I hope to certainly be at the Cauliflower Alley Club, and I'd certainly like to be at WrestleMania because you always catch up with old friends. You know what I mean? It's a good time. I went to the one, what was it? It would have been number 29 in New York, into the Hall of Fame. WWE was very kind to have me as their guest, as they always are. I always thank WWE, no matter what our opinions may be on a certain week. We just want to see the best wrestling possible for the best fans possible, and those fans are the fans of the king of sports, professional wrestling. The most passionate fans of any genre that I am aware of.
Professional wrestling fans are not afraid to say how they feel. They certainly enjoy what they see. We'll see what happens. WrestleMania 31 should be different. All
right. And last but not least, Johnny, certainly want to touch base on something I think you want to touch base with. Deborah McMichael will be here with us on Saturday, October the 25th here at MWF Studios. It is going to be a great night.
Why do you insinuate that I have this crush, this ultimate desire? Deborah McMichaels is a personal friend. She and I have a professional relationship. She is an outstanding human being. There's nothing I wouldn't do for her if she asked. I mean that in a good way. Not in the way that your gut or mind is thinking.
You can't read my mind, Johnny.
I can read your mind very well. One only needs to look at your face and your eyes. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. October 25th should be quite an event. 6 o'clock, right here at the MWF Studios in Melrose. I'm sure the man that runs the studio, Mike, is real happy about it. He definitely can't wait for this. I know he's a fan of animals, and he would love to hold a couple of puppies himself. So I know I'm here. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see Deborah again. She's a good friend. We'll have some things to chat about.
Close personal friend.
Deborah McMichaels is a close friend. She's
personal friend.
A close friend. We've had some nice chats. She's a good human being. I still haven't got her Christmas card that somebody's supposed to.
Well, you know what? If she put a stamp on it, I think you would have received it instead of sending it back to me.
I have no idea
that's
what's
a different
even
story
in there.
for a different time. I don't want to know what's in there. You heard about those leaks of the celebrities' photos a few weeks ago.
No.
You didn't hear about that?
Naked photos?
Yes.
Wow.
Could you have received that last Christmas?
A naked photo?
Yes. In the Santa Claus hat.
Deborah is so professional.
She's class.
Thank you.
She's
and
not
she
like
would
some
not
of the other
lower
Bozarks.
herself to be that stupid because she's a class operation and a wonderful, wonderful human being. Can't wait to see her again and say hello.
I could think of someone that's been in this very room with us that would do that, but that's a different story for a different time, too. Believe me.
Wedding to perform first, and once that wedding is done, I should be leaving there about 5. I should be in Melrose, I hope, for 6, and we can pull this off.
Changes the subject. But anyway, fans, check out the BostonWrestling.com super site for information on this great event. Trying to help Susie B. Komen all October long in honor of our great friend Paul Bear, whose wife unfortunately passed away after 3 battles with this deadly disease. For the fabulous one, Mr. Cena, I'm Dan Marotti. Be well until we speak again.